I'm Jason with Defend. We are a nonprofit looking to reduce risks for people, children, and vulnerable people online. And you should be feeling disgraceful for your most recent video called "I Investigated the City of Sex Offenders." So when you do a piece like this, all you're doing is exploiting this segment of society. And you're doing it for one reason only. You say you're going to get confessions.
Before we begin phase 2 of my plan to infiltrate Pervert Park and get some confessions,
If what you say is true, and you're going to interview people that are registered sex offenders, you're essentially going for quote unquote confessions, but these people have already been convicted of crimes. They need to be given a chance to rehabilitate. So you're going to cause harm to people after they have already served their sentences, and for one purpose, which is your own personal gain. At 002 seconds, you have here this dog pretending to growl at you.
We're about to get sicked by convicted sex offenders dog right now.
You intentionally have created this video for inflammatory purposes. You're basically trying to give the impression that it's you against a bunch of sex offenders. And that is not the case. That is not what this video is about. This video is purely inflammatory, to light up your comment section, to do one thing, to try and game the YouTube algorithm, because you, sir, do not care about protecting children online. You don't know anything about protecting children online. You know only one thing, which is how to exploit scenarios for views on the internet. And that's all this is, basically. You've tried, you had some news outlets produce pieces on you before for doing this kind of work. If that's the kind of life that you want to live, go ahead. You go ahead and exploit people. But when you're doing this kind of video, you're actually not protecting children. You're actually doing the opposite. And I'll explain. But let's take a look at first one way in which you are trying to manipulate the viewer.
I hate it. I feel like, burn it down, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a parent, man. I got 6 kids.
You send your kids to daycare around here?
Just this one right here for now. This is the only one that had availability for the moment.
So you go to work, you have to put the kids in daycare. Does it make you feel weird knowing those people are right over there?
I mean, I'm not comfortable with it,
Yeah.
but
Those people, you're basically dehumanizing a segment of society. Yes, these are people that have likely committed very heinous stuff, and that is horrible. But you are doing nothing to prevent harm to happen to other children if you are trying to exploit issues like this for gain. You are essentially trying to promote fear. You are trying to get reactions out of people like this woman to try and boost people talking about this in your comment section. Your face lights up.
Where do you think these people should be put?
Way out in the woods or put to death.
Appreciate your honesty. I'm sure a lot of people agree. We're going to try.
You're basically saying that we should euthanize people, which is what Hitler wanted to do. So think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute when you make the next type of video like this, exploiting another sector of vulnerable society, whether it's the homeless, whether it is another type of issue that you're trying to exploit by investigating. You're not really investigating. You're coming in with your own biased opinions. You basically told Buddy here that, that lots of people think that way. You're not actually looking for the truth. You're looking to put your slanted views out there.
I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I think they should be supervised.
Sure.
But I forgive.
Do you think there's an opportunity for them to reform? And
It's a hard one for them.
Yeah.
But, they're going to be around somebody somewhere. Do you want to tempt them with a school? No, but how far do you get them away, and when is it not a temptation? There's a bus line right here.
That is true, but if you put them a bird's eye view, it's a little bit.
Then you want to put them in jail.
The secondary option might just be to put them in the middle of nowhere.
Then how are they going to work? How could they ever make a recovery?
A self-sufficient society.
Yeah, we used to do that with blacks. It doesn't work. You can't separate out.
What does race have to do with?
You can't separate out groups and say you can't be part of society.
Sure you can. Well, you could.
I'm called by Christ not to do that. I'm called by Christ to forgive and take care of everyone.
So you don't
He
think
is my Lord and Savior, okay? Yeah. And he takes care of me. He blesses me every day. Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Sure. I don't even know if it's about judgment, but more so the practical logistics of putting them in a position not to.
Judgment that they will repeat.
I suppose it's risk management, perhaps.
It's flat out judgment.
Well, I'm not a religious person and I don't believe in God. I know what this person is saying is the truth because I've seen it firsthand. I've been on a documentary crew where a minor attracted person, or what people want to call a pedophile, walked into a hospital and he was told that he was going to be in a safe place. He was there to get help. He was there disclosing that he hadn't harmed a child, but that he was there to get help because he was having thoughts. And he asked them, "Are you going to report me?" He asked the hospital this, and the hospital said, "No, we're not going to report you." And the doctor told him this. I was there as a documentary crew member watching this. And an hour later, the doctor had called the hospital lawyer. The hospital lawyer said, "You need to make a report to the police." And the doctor made a report to the police for somebody's thoughts. And this is why people won't go get help, because you and most of society will want to shame them, will want to tell them that they should be 6 feet under or permanently behind bars. That's basically what most of society will tell somebody that is dealing with this kind of issue. Nobody chooses this kind of issue. And don't confuse the issue of child molestation with attraction. Attraction is one thing. Molesting a child is completely different. I watched somebody who just had a thought, who hadn't harmed a child, literally get the police called on him for his thoughts. So think about that for a minute. Why is it that we have these types of reporting laws? They are meant to try and protect children. And in reality, it takes the ability for a doctor, a therapist, whomever, a professional, it takes that ability to make a discretionary call. It takes that away from them. And generally, this puts children at risk. Tyler Oliveira, I think your name is. Do better with your huge audience. You should be shamed, though, for this. You're continuously trying to exploit people for your own personal gain. We are a nonprofit made up of 250 volunteers from 19 countries, actually protecting children and vulnerable people online. You are doing nothing. You are actually creating harm, and you're looking to create fear and divisiveness around these issues, only for your personal gain. Do better.